I'm in the very, very beautiful town of Gloucester, Massachusetts, and it happens to be one of my favorite places on the whole planet. I wanted to take this opportunity, because I think it's the perfect opportunity, to share with you one of the spookiest stories, in my opinion, that I've ever heard. It happens to take place in my home state of Massachusetts, and it happens to take place in Gloucester. I happen to be coming up here today, so I thought that I would tell the story of the spectral leaguers of Gloucester. Sorry for the noise, but that's what happens when you're filming outside, and I don't think this is going to be edited, so it's absolutely live, caught on video. But anyway, here's the story of the Spectral League of Gloucester. This one just fascinates me and frightens me at the same time. It was 1692, and that was before the witch trials had actually taken place in the neighboring town of Salem. King Philip's War, and I will be talking about that because my town played a part in King Philip's War, and it's just kind of coincidental that the two stories, I happened upon this story many years later. Of course, I was born in Medfield, so my town, I knew about that long before the Spectral Leaguers. This was 2 decades after King Philip's War in the summer, and because these soldiers, the League that showed up in Gloucester, couldn't seem to be caught, killed, or crippled, and they were wearing the garments, the uniforms worn during the French and Native Americans in King Philip's War, so they assumed that they were probably ghosts of the fallen soldiers who had come in through and the fallen Native Americans. The rumor went around, I'm actually reading this, it's the testimony of Ebenezer Babson. The rumor went around that they were not of flesh and blood. They were called the Spectral League. They claimed that when one was cornered and shot, and the men went to pick him up, he simply vanished into thin air. When the cry went out that they were coming back again, the people laid down their arms and got on their knees to pray. And when the name of God was uttered, howls were heard from the fiends, and they were never seen again in the town of Gloucester. I'm assuming that the testimony came from more than one source, that something was seen. Were they really ghosts? Were they a spectral league? Was it mass hallucination? Was it some prank? Who knows? Back in the 1600s, but all I know is those definitely had to be very dangerous, very strange times, because it wasn't long after that that the Salem witch trials ensued, and maybe I'll cover that, but I think everybody pretty much knows that well, but I'll be spending a lot of time in Salem and Halloween, so we'll see what I'll be doing.